Ta-da! I made it through another day. So I am actually heading over to go look at it. Whoa! I almost made a dumb mistake. Which I do this a lot for some reason. But yeah, I almost drove off and left the door open on my warehouse. I don't know why I do that. I get distracted a lot. So I'm heading over to go look at a job. We got a door that they bought the door and for whatever reason couldn't put it in. So I don't know if y'all can see the water dripping right here, but I got water dripping on me. I'm gonna go look at the job, and then I'm gonna try again on setting up a studio. Let's see how this time it goes. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but last time I tried setting internet up at my house, and yeah, they said my house did not exist, and it took them like 3 tries. They came out, and just everything went haywire. So I'm gonna try it again. I think instead of going into the store, I'm just gonna call it in and do an online thing, because for whatever reason when I went into the store it just didn't work. So last night I tried making a video of the Artemis rocket. Could not find it in the sky. I saw it once it was like straight up, but all it was an orange dot. But I was trying to get a video of it going up into the sky. And if you don't know, the Artemis rocket is the a test rocket of the next manned mission to the moon. So what they're doing is they're basically going to do a flyby by the moon. Either they're going to go around it or they're going to go there and then come back. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's last night it tested. I don't even know what happened to it. I just I stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning working on things. And my studio got turned into the one I'm trying to get set up now, got turned into extra storage. So I've been moving stuff around and throwing a lot of stuff away. I got like 6 trash cans full of stuff just out of today, and just a lot of stuff. And it kind of hurts my heart on some of the stuff I'm throwing away, but it's to a point that I just don't want to really deal with it. And also today I could have bought 2 storage units and I turned them down. So you know, I got so much stuff. Me buying more is not a good idea. I am going this weekend to another auction. I think there's a car there. So, and I am looking for maybe something to mess with. I really don't need anything, but you know, I'm really bored and need something different in my life. But yeah, anyways, there's an auction Saturday. I'm gonna go and just look around. I really doubt I'm gonna buy anything. If I do, it's going to be really good for a really stupid price. So we'll see what happens. And then Sunday, I'm going to go do a door install. And that closed. And then, like I said, the door I'm looking at today, I'll probably knock that out next week. And that pretty much closes me out until like sometime in December. I got one customer that's going on vacation. They're not going to be back until sometime in December, so I'm gonna it's the one with the little windows and the door where the big window was all damaged. So I'll get that done, but I won't get paid on the windows until everything. What the hell? But yeah, it's just a lot of moving around, a lot of just going through stuff, a lot of just trying to get out from underneath this pile of crap that I have. Got some unique things set up for this weekend, or for this Friday's garage sale. So, oh my God, all I smell is weed. This person that pulled out in front of me got their music blaring, windows down, and just weed coming out both sides of the car, the windows. But yeah, it's believe it or not, just another boring day. I mean, I'm getting a lot of stuff done, but you know, it's nothing really exciting that I can present to you guys. I mean, there's some things I'm working on, but again, it just, I can sit here and start talking about a bunch of things like, I may have, and I'll try to talk about one thing. There's this thing on Netflix, and it's ancient civilizations, and this guy, he's a known quack, he's a known weirdo, but his ideas aren't necessarily wrong, they're just skewed, because he cherry picks his information to make a point. If you know about it, it's, he's always talking about the, 11,600 to 12,400 years ago. Wait a minute, where am I going? Where am I going? Okay, I think I know. But yeah, so there was a catastrophe 12,000 years ago, roughly. He goes through and says the whole thing is because of comets and because of all this. There's this dead layer across North Africa and everything, that happened about 12,000 years ago. And if you're interested in this is a really good point. I'm going to try to explain it without the notes and without all the little cards. But 12,000 years ago, parts of Europe and America and, North America and this whole area was hit by something that charred the entire North America, this area, and it basically burnt it. And a lot of people, a lot of the mainstream says it's a comet. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it was a micronova or very, very strong solar flare, which can do the same thing, because in 1859 there was something called a Carrington event. You can look it up, and it basically welded metal. It fried the little transistor lines where they're doing the Morse code, we're just hitting a little button, and that's like the telegraphs, that's what it's called. And but I mean, they literally caught fire. The things welded together, metal welded. I mean, it was an insane thing that happened back in 1859. And I think a more powerful version of that, or a micronova, which a lot of stars, instead of going supernova, they have these things where they create like a dust cloud around them, and they go dark, which there's a lot of stories in history about the sun going dark. And then all of a sudden it just and shakes it all off and blows everything around, and it blows all these impactors and particles and all this dust that accumulated. And I'm not saying it's dusty like a statue on a shelf. It's, it's a space weather event. So, and there's a lot of people who are very big into the game that talk about this kind of stuff, but they say that is a precursor or is a cause of the magnetic flip, which right now we're having the magnetic north and south pole are moving. Our magnetic field is getting a lot weaker. There's a lot of stuff going on, which is a lot to take in on a little tiny video like this. But so you have 12,000 years ago, you have this event that basically charred, a fifth of the planet, and there are some small impactors, but there's no big crater 12,000 years ago that would show a comet, impacting the Earth and causing this scarring across this area, this burning. So, but again, micronova or very large solar flare would cause the same exact effect. No micro craters, nothing like that. And the whole thing about a comet hitting the ice sheet, not really, because it's, it doesn't explain all the electrical field anomalies and everything else. But anyways, not trying to get too technical. So anyways, I think that 12,000 years ago we had this event, and the Earth kind of did like a little shake with the like the magnetic where the poles flip and everything else. I don't know 100% if it happened 12,000 years ago, but there's some areas that they can make an argument for it. But the big thing is, if the poles didn't flip, if the Earth didn't completely flip around, let's just say the poles moved and the Earth just kind of said, well, let me get back to square, and it just does a quick little 300 mile, which is half a degree kick, all the water on the planet would kind of slosh around for a little bit and cause a lot of flooding. Okay, now if you are watching this show on Netflix about the ancient civilizations and all this stuff, this catastrophe that happened 12,000 years ago, it would start making a lot of sense on why so many old civilizations from, let's say 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, because this is 2,000 years after the event, but all these civilizations started rebuilding, but they're rebuilding on top of on top of mountains, and it doesn't make any sense on why someone would, you got Machu Picchu, you got all these Aztec things where they're building pyramids and trying to get up, away from the surface. They're trying to get up high, and of course, a lot of researchers think it has, that people in the ancient civilizations, they only oh my God, God. Let me pray, let me sacrifice, let me do all this stuff. They were trying to live just like we're trying to live today. Okay, they were not consumed with God the way we are today, or even the way we aren't today. They had farmers, they had warriors, they didn't spend their entire time praying for deities and, trying to do all this stuff. They lived like we did. Maybe not with the technology, but they had the same mental state as us. They fought, they loved, they cried, they bred, they did all this stuff just like we do today. And this is where the bastardization of history, I personally think, is messed up. But you have this area, and then you have other parts of the area, other parts of the world that maybe not have had the floods, which are documented across the world, which, the whole world flooding is one thing, but having water slosh for just a few days and then it goes away, now it's starting to make a little bit more sense, saying, maybe it wasn't all the sea levels rose, maybe it splashed around and water got displaced. Because of this little few degrees, the ice melts, or the ice sheet was all of a sudden in a different area, which doesn't have to have a comet blowing up the world. It just gets shifted, and now all the ice is melting, and the waters and the seas do rise 400 to 900 feet. All this stuff is proven. It's just nobody's made the connection that I know of that kind of shows all this stuff. So, anyways, long story short, I think that the world shifted a few degrees. It didn't flip over completely. I just realized I'm probably going to the wrong spot here. I'm going to go in here and pull up this address real quick. But, yeah, I think the world shifted just a few degrees, just enough to melt the ice sheet and cause pretty much everything that what we know it today, as far as the sea levels rose and all this kind of stuff, and a lot of civilizations got flooded out and had to move, and that's what I think. And I'm probably not explaining it as good as I hear it in my head, because I'm probably missing a couple of words. But no, oh wow. No, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at an old house that I did. I've done a lot of work to it since last time. Okay, yeah, I can get to it from here. So, I don't know. It's one of them things that, it's like, why don't people make the connections? It's just like, I watch these other shows where they're hunting and looking for stuff, and, it's funny because I'll say something and then years later they do what I say. Case in point is like Oak Island. Me and my mom watch that, and there's stuff that they're doing now that I was talking about years ago. Like, why don't y'all do this? What's up with this? And now they're just now getting to it, and it's like, well, dummies, if I was there. But this is something that I've always done. I've worked beside engineers that make hundreds of thousands of dollars that fly in from other states. They can't figure out a problem. I walk up and say, well, can I look at it? And I look at it and says, here's your problem. Well, that can't be it. That can't be it. And I actually bet a $1,200 test saying, okay, if I'm wrong, this test costs $1,200. If I'm wrong, I'll pay for the test. Well, guess what? I wasn't wrong. I've sat down and talked with Harvard professors and Princeton, you know, I don't know what you call them, not professors there, but the people have tenure and all that kind of stuff. They're not collegiate, anyways. Like, I'm a smart-ass dumb person, if you haven't figured that out by now. But, you know, I make connections the way my brain works. I don't forget shit. I don't sit here and, like, I'm able to solve puzzles really, really well. And life is just a big-ass puzzle, so. But anyways, I'm back here in a very weird neighborhood. What the hell is going on here? So, I'm going to see you guys later. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. This is a lot to take in. But peace. Sorry. Peace, love, money. I'm out.